Hello and welcome back, everyone, to a fresh new episode of Knock Off the Perch, a Manchester United podcast. We are now 1 week deep into the new Ruben Amorim era. 2 games down. We have heard a lot from the manager, a lot. He isn't very happy about it being having to give so many interviews, but yeah, we have heard a lot. We have seen how he wants to play. He promised us an idea, and an idea is what we have seen. What have you made of his first week, Aruj?
Yeah, the man is delivering on what he said he's going to do. He's going to showcase his ideology. He's going to showcase the ideas that he has to bring. And he did highlight right in the beginning itself that not all of it might come to fruition right from the first game. But uh, I am very excited about how some of the things are coming along. Obviously, the execution is not where we would want it to be, but there are a lot of positive signs. Let's get right into it. Let's talk about both the games that we saw in his first week. First was a 1-1 draw against Ipswich. We started, got a goal in what 90 odd seconds, and then to beat that against Bodo at home, first game at Old Trafford for Amorim, we got a goal in 48 seconds. What did you make of the first week? How the start has been?
Yeah, it's not a bad start, is it? I mean, to understand, most of the managers who come in, they come in with some sort of preseason behind them, come in mid of the season with, a lot of uncertainty around with the new system, trying to implement a new system. And of course, we can say that he had a international break in between, but that international break, he didn't have most of the first team players. On the 3 training sessions is what he got, and with all the media duties and everything, he has hardly gotten any time. And so I feel a draw and a win to have in the first couple of games is not a bad start at all. Of course, how we've played in those 2 games is not up to the mark. Is obviously we never expected the problems to go away instantly, and it also has a feeling of him also trying to find out his best 11 in the first few days with the number of changes he made in the
I
first
think
game.
that will I think that will go on for some time. It's not that, within a space of 2, 3 games, he'll be able to figure out what is his best 11. And he did mention in one of the so many conversations that he has had with the media that it's all about rotation. He has given that information to players as well that there will be heavy rotation, especially in the beginning. So I think we should continue to expect that in some of the upcoming games as well. And in the first game, at least against Ipswich, the two big takeaways. One, although we only got a draw, uh, my initial thought process there was they're Ipswich, they're relegation contenders. We should be winning this no matter what. And the entire hype around we were only 4 points away from top four, top three at that point in time. But I think as I sort of moved on from that game, the realization in me was okay. I think just one game so far under Amorim, still what 26 odd games to go. So we still have time to cover some of that gap. At least we didn't lose that one, and largely thanks to Onana in that one, some massive saves. Even yesterday, some massive saves from Onana.
Oh yeah, I mean Ipswich game was a bit underwhelming, to be honest. I mean, the hopes and the expectations were like sky high at that time. Everyone was brought to a quick reality.
It only rose after the first 2 minutes, right? We scored a goal and everybody was like, Amorim era is underway and all of that. But then the reality struck in.
Yeah, then the Eric Ten Hag era, the reminders of Eric Ten Hag
Shadows of.
all there to see. Well, no, we should talk about the first starting 11. I don't think he got that right. I don't know if it was based on availability. He mentioned that he chose the players who he had trained with the most. So there was some element of that. But that being said, I, for one, would not want to see Ericsson and Casemiro at the base of that midfield. But again, they don't have the leg. As experienced and as intelligent players they are, with all their legacy, I wouldn't want to see them in this system. At least I wouldn't want to see them playing together at the base of at the number 6 and number 8 position. I
Yeah.
thought Ipswich ran us ragged throughout that game, and our defense. And when you're starting in a new system, you'd want some elements, some anchor, you know.
Correct.
I really believed that anchoring responsibility up to Casemiro was a bad thing to do in that game.
I think even he realized that, right? Taking off both of them eventually in the game, he realized that, both of them are not able to keep up to the speed and physical requirements of the game. Christian Eriksen did travel with the Danish squad, if I remember correctly. So I don't think he had a lot of time, but in terms of availability, I don't think Menu was fully fit. He wasn't introduced. In fact, he hasn't been introduced in either of the two games so far, but he has been on the bench. And Bruno was playing more of that number 10 role in the first game, so he was not there. My initial thought was maybe Mount can play the first 60 minutes and Bruno could have been at number 8, as was the case in yesterday's game. But I mean, he must have seen something in training, which is what he felt, that maybe Mount is not ready to get those number of minutes at that point in time. But what are you making of our wing backs, which are supposedly the most critical aspects of this 3-4-3 system or 3-4-2-1 system, whatever we might want to call it? And the right side one so far has been a left-footed uh, wing back who is of the attacking nature, and the left wing back has been either a Dalo or Malacia to begin with, and even Dalo after the first half yesterday, as the more defensive-minded wing back. What did you make of that?
I mean, expected. He did mention that this is how he likes to play, even though we were expecting some sort of, yeah, so him to break ground first and have two defenders start in first. But we saw and Ahmad and Dalo start the first game as wing backs, and Malacia and Anthony start the second game. So both the teams had one attacking player and one a bit more defensive minded. I felt Ahmad held his own. Of course, he was never going to be the best defender, which we saw a lot of attacks going from that wing. Ipswich making a lot of attacks from his end. But then, that being said, he had a big hand in the first goal. That was a crazy run. I mean, that was a brilliant run from Ahmad in the first 80 seconds. Shows his intensity, shows his desire to move forward. But Amorim mentioned this. So he said it's a fairly easy position. In his head, it's a fairly easy position because you only have one person to mark. It's either going to be the left back or the left winger. So in his head, Amad Diallo had only one player to mark, and he mentioned 3 to 4 players who he thought could improve.
I think,
and Amad Diallo was one of them.
Yeah, no, fair point. But I think where the challenge is coming from is this squad is not used to play three at the back. So when you are compact without the ball and the opposition is able to break through and play a ball in towards either of the wings. We saw that in the first game with Ahmad having to track back, and he's not that physical a player. He was almost bullied by I don't know whether it was Davis or Delap, one of those. And then yesterday also similar thing happened with Malacia when we conceded that first goal or the second goal. When we conceded that second goal, he was physically almost out muscled at that point in time, and they went on to grab the goal. So I think those spaces that get created between the winger, central midfielder, and the left centre back or the right centre back, I think that is something this team will have to learn how to tackle against that. So I think that is a critical aspect there.
As bad a game as Malacia had last night, and it was pretty bad game by the way. He didn't create much going forward. I thought he was our worst player on the pitch yesterday. I feel what you just mentioned, this is a combined responsibility of the midfielder and the centre back. So this is where you expect the head of Dillet, you expect the head of Lisandro Martinez, these players to come through and just do a pressing. We saw that yesterday when Licha pressed. He went ahead and pressed a lot. Actually, this is something which again Amorim mentioned in this press conference, that he would have wanted to see Johnny Evans go forward and be a bit more proactive in pressing the midfielders, which he didn't see. And
I think in the Sky Sports coverage, Jamie Carragher covered it very, very well. He spoke about the fact that how the central defensive midfielder in the Ipswich game. It was Casemiro at that point in time. He was expecting him to just track deep into the opposition half as well. And Casemiro was very unsure about doing that. Amorim was seen shouting at him. Casemiro was looking sideways towards Amorim, not knowing sort of how to play that because it didn't feel that it came naturally to him. He felt very jittery in sort of moving that far ahead. But because I think he was trying to, Amorim's ideology, I think there is to make it compact. If Casemiro moves forward, and then the other players of the opposition will also sort of try to come in that space, the attackers, then our defenders come up with them. So you make that space very compact. But yeah, these players will take time. He did mention that, our players are trying, but execution.
And it's a high risk, high reward game. If you put so many numbers forward, you're bound to left behind without without the lovable
Yeah.
defensive. Yeah. So it is a high risk, high reward game, and I see what he's trying to do. Of course, with these players, it'll be very difficult because not all the players are that tactically flexible. They have usually played in one or the other systems. Let's see what Amorim had to say after the two games. He did mention in the first game that he could take the route of going the safe way and just trying to concentrate on winning is something which you mentioned that Eric Ten Hag used to do. But he's fairly new into the country, new in the league. His head is only into trying to improve United and getting us to that level wherein we do compete against the best teams. What did you make of that?
I agree, and that's a very bold thought process to go ahead with because as much as we know that Eric Ten Hag after two games stopped trying his so-called AX philosophy and tried to, play to win certain games, play on the transition and play that, at least in the first season, try and hold the ball better, maybe do long passes at times, but not get into those quick build up from the back, which were causing a lot of mistakes. So he gave up on that. He didn't talk about it publicly. Amorim has come out and talked about it publicly, saying that, we can uh, either take risks right now or, try and fix certain things in the short term, but 1 year down the line, we will be in a similar shape. I hope he follows through on what he is saying because the real pressure will come in when results don't go our way. The media, the fans start putting a lot of pressure on you. The table seems daunting. If you are still after 5, 6 games, if you're still lingering below the 10th spot or something like that. So the table will start talking to you as well from that sense. So it will be interesting to see how it plays out. Hopefully, none of that happens. Hopefully, we are able to smash through Everton and then beat Arsenal as well to close the gap on them. If that happens, I think some of the narrative entirely might change. But with regard to the entire risk and suffering aspect, he called out in the short term we will suffer. And one thing that was again that he pointed out was players were thinking too much. I think his entire thought process is that all 11 on the pitch should know what's going to be the next step that is to be taken by the players. And if the players are not sure about it, when on the ball they're thinking too much, and which is where mistakes tend to happen. So he talked about it, but gave them enough credit to say if they're trying to fit into the new system, trying to do new things. So yeah, I think there was positivity around it.
It's the Premier League. It's the best league in the world. Every team has a potential to beat you, and the margin is of those milliseconds. If you're 1 millisecond late on your decision, late on your feet, you get tackled, you get beat on the ball, you lose the second ball, you lose a player, and that is the difference between scoring and conceding, right? And he did see that the players were trying, and credit to the players also. They have taken a lot of information in very less time. But that being said, we discussed how some of the players are more naturally suited to this kind of style of play, to which extent we saw that there are 3 to 4 players who really fit into the system, right? I believe Mazaroi, we put players on Mazaroi in every pod of ours, and we are so impressed by Mazaroi. Initially, it was to do with the kind of transfer fee he commanded, and right now I really feel we should go back to Bayern and really pay them double the fees because what good footballing he has, man. I mean, he's been played at right back, left back, attacking midfielder. Yesterday he was played at a centre back position, and he has mauled at everything. he receives the ball and he just knows what to do with it. And he
Correct.
9 out of 10 times he does the right thing. So yeah,
I think in the last decade, or maybe even I'm trying to think under Sir Alex, if there was a footballer who was so intelligent on the ball and who did the right things so many times, played so many positions, almost like the total footballer. You put this player anywhere, he will add value to the team. I don't know, maybe Rooney to some extent, maybe uh, Park to some extent, I would say under Sir Alex, who would do anything.
I liked Daily
Yeah, they'll.
would play at sector.
Yeah, but Daily Blind, I think, had certain almost,
Reality film.
yeah, he could do a lot of roles, but I think he was always like 6 to 7 out of 10 sort of a player in all of those positions. He was never, he was consistent, but he would very few times give those 9 on 10 sort of, which Mazarawi can give every third, fourth game, right? He will be 7, 8, and then every third, fourth game he'll give a 9 on 10 sort of a performance. So, which is where I think Mazarawi sort of outshines. I liked Ander Herrera a lot, but again, he was defined to that midfield role. But he was also a very intelligent player for us, hard worker. But Mazarawi, man, there's no. I think he is signing of the Premier League. I will go out and say that as well this year. I don't think Premier League is seeing a better new player, so to say. But
Yeah.
I hope he continues. He gets to contribute to the United squad. Who else? Who else do you think is fitting well into the system of Amorim?
Yes, Amorim talked about he likes Mount a lot. He mentioned before his press conference that he loves the work rate he sees, and he loves the desire he sees in the player, that he sees that Mount wants to do well. And to be honest, Mount can play a couple of positions in his system, can't he? He can play the number 6, 8, or the number 10. So he's a very all-round midfielder, and we saw it at the starting of the season as well when he was playing with Bruno in the 4-2-2-2. He was pressing very well, even though we haven't seen that kind of end result from Mount, which we saw in his Chelsea days. I think he's a player to watch out under.
But yesterday in the first 15 to 20 minutes before Bodo actually came back into that game, that first to 20 minutes when we had high energy, it was a lot of play on that right, which was high energy. It was a lot of times Mazarawi playing into Anthony. Anthony maybe doing one or two intricate passes with Mount around, Mount pressing a lot. So even the first goal, Mount initiated the press, so it was a back pass. Then Hoyland continued the press, almost tackled the goalkeeper, and then Garnacho lapped up onto that. So I think that entire build-up was very good. So Mount had a lot to contribute, and yeah, I don't know about 6, but 8 and 10 he can definitely play. So
even the third goal, he had a good contribution, right? He had a flick which went to Ugarte and eventually ended with the Haaland goal.
correct, and he came very close to scoring himself. It was one of those Garnacho cutback, which landed to Mount, and he took a shot. It hit the bar. So yeah, I'm hoping some of that end product starts coming through. And on the note of end product, Rasmus Højlund doubled his tally for this season. 2 goals he had before this game so far this season, and now up to 4. I like the guy, man. Come on. Last season also we saw when he had the service, he's a natural finisher. He gets into decent positions, and more often than not, I think his decision making on the ball is decent. Off the ball, I think there is a lot of improvement, and he himself spoke about that post game, that during the halftime there was a clear instruction from Amorim on what to do, which staying near the post that led to the second goal coming through for him. So that was a good one. I am excited about Hoyland. In fact, we were just in the build up to this conversation, we were speaking about our FPL teams, and I have Hoyland in my team. I don't know. I want to keep him. I don't know about the minutes, but it feels like he will do well rest of the season.
I think he'll continue with his form. I think he'll continue starting as well. I don't think we have a player like Hoyland in our team. We have seen Rashford start in that position.
Yeah.
And I didn't think Rashford did as much to prove that he can be the number 9, the final centre forward.
The only thing from what I've understood so far, Amorim believes a lot in sports science. So they talk about recovery of the players a lot. If a player has played the full 90, which Rasmus did yesterday, I think it takes 2 days of full recovery, is something on those lines is what they were talking about, which would mean Friday, Saturday he wouldn't train. So I don't know Sunday if he directly gets to start. That's my only worry.
Don't think they. I think they do. Like they still do work on the tactical nows, and they still work out on cool down and everything. I don't think it will be the case that he doesn't start or anything. There are certain players. See, he's at a young age. Of course, they have to manage the minutes of likes of Casemiro, Ericsson, but Højlund is a young player. I mean, you do expect him to start like.
But he has also been injury prone, no? He's also been injury prone. So I think.
True, but we don't have a natural replacement.
We
Xerxes
don't.
would not. I mean, you saw Amorim trying to tell him to. Well, I don't
Get into the box. He wasn't getting into the box.
It is in the capacity of Xerxes to do so much pressing, which Amorim expect him to do. It does sound bad for Xerxes, to be very honest. He has been given the chances this season when Ireland was not fit, and he didn't make the most out of it, to be very honest. He tries to connect and he tries to be a 9.5, a cheeky 9.5, but
Yeah.
you know, eventually what you expect from the forwards are goals and assists, and that hasn't shown through till now. Even there, I don't think he shoots that often. As a forward, he does try to be the connector, and I think we have enough of connectors. I don't think we need more.
Most likely, if Bruno and Mount continue to be in the starting 11, I think we have that role well covered.
I think Ramad also can very well play in that role. We saw Garnacho play in that role yesterday. At some point of time, to be very honest, I think Anthony might also. Like, it sounds very funny, but I think Anthony is in front of Xerxes.
A better choice?
Odd.
Yeah. Possible.
Because he tracks back, he has that energy. You need that energy. In the system, you need that energy. Correct players.
It almost feels like Xerxes is a little lethargic. I think that I think.
Yeah, I mean, he needs to shake that without a Berbatov side player, without the Berbatov skill.
Finishing capabilities.
Berbatov had a good, footballing brain. You knew that, you can expect, even though he doesn't make those runs and everything, you can expect a 7 or 8 out of 10 performance from Berbatov every match. I was very frustrated with Berbatov in Italy too, by the way, but he's shown through, and I mean, I still remember that hat trick against Liverpool. That's like one of the best days for United, watching United.
He had a 5-goal game as well, right? He had a 5-goal game as well.
And yeah, he took pride in not just the goals, he took pride in the assists. That was marvelous.
I like him as a pundit as well. He's no nonsense pundit. I like him as a pundit. Yeah. Just one last thing on what Amorim has been saying so far. He's been continuously talking about, that I believe I'm the right person for this role. I feel I'm fitting right in. Yesterday he spoke about the fact that half of the stadium didn't know him probably a month back or so, but they made him feel special. Do you see any sign of nerves? Do you see he's settling in well? Any thoughts?
Oh, no. He mentioned in his very first interview that he's a different person on game day, and to be honest, I've recognized that. I mean, I rarely see him smile. Like he was on to the players throughout the game.
Even after the first goal, there was no reaction from him. He was like, I don't want to celebrate a goal like this. But after the Rasmus goal, he did.
To be honest, he doesn't want to celebrate in the first minute is the thing. I think, like, I don't know, even he knows what to expect from our team. Anything can go south very fast with this team. But yeah, I mean, he is calm. He gives good answers to the media. You can see that there's a bonding with the players he's trying to build, and he is building. Like, all the players also have talked very positively about the training sessions, about his communication skills as well, and you wish to see that continue, right? There is we haven't talked about Ugarte. Ugarte is a player from his sister, and yeah. So we saw in the yesterday's game how important Ugarte is also going to be for us. I believe he'll be one of the first starters.
There has to be the destroyer in this system, otherwise you get exposed a lot, and you need this person or this player to be very efficient. And I think Ugarte showed that under Rude as well when he started 4 in a row. And now I think under Amorim, he should go from strength to strength to build onto that.
I just realized we are 6 games unbeaten, 4 under root, 2 wins, 2 with.
Yeah.
So it's a nice upturn of form which we have taken. It's like
We might continue that. Yeah, we need to continue that. Yeah. On that note, let's talk about how things are shaping up in the Premier League and the Europa League. Premier League, first up, we got a draw in the last game, moved from what, 13th to 12th. Doesn't count much. We are now 6 points off the third and fourth spot, which is occupied by Chelsea and Arsenal respectively, and we are what, 7 behind Man City. So even the second spot doesn't seem that far, to be honest. But I don't want to jump the gun right now. A lot of things will come into play, but uh, do we read a lot into the table right now? It's close to what, 1/3 of the season done.
I think it's still very packed. Other than Liverpool, no one has shown signs of consistency this season.
Why are Liverpool not losing, man? I thought this finally against this Southampton they will drop points. It will be very ironical if in the season we launch our pod called Knock Off the Perch, Liverpool climb back on top of the perch with us. So I hope that there is. I think City Liverpool play each other next. I don't say this too often, but I hope City win it and make a competition out of the league.
No, definitely you would want to see that. I mean, City are down on the ground, aren't they? Like
5 losses in a row, 6th game they were cruising against Feyenoord and ended up drawing 3-3, and this is I'm enjoying this.
Eric Ten Hag, even Eric Ten Hag didn't lose 5 in a row, man.
Correct. I think one thing it does is it sort of talks about the fact that, Pep may be whatever, the best modern day manager, but when it comes to managing in the Premier League, I think Sir Alex is still okay, head and shoulders above, maybe a bit of a overstatement, but Sir Alex, just because of the consistency, man, it doesn't come close to Sir Alex as yet.
Because of the consistency, because of how he reinvented himself. I mean,
Correct.
during his 26-year stint, we saw Arsene Wenger come in with his Arsenal model. We saw Jose Mourinho come in. We saw Carlo Ancelotti challenge. Eventually, we saw the City challenge as well. He has overseen so many rebuilds at United. It was great to see. It was shit. Those were our best years, man. We don't realize it now. Like, of course, now that 10 years we haven't won anything. When we do realize this, but
I am just trusting in Omar Barada. He said 150th year, by the 150th year we will have a Premier League. I just hope he's able to deliver on that. So what? That's like 3 seasons away.
too far, man. Too far. I mean, I still feel that we have what it takes. To be honest, like Amorim, I do believe in the squad. As much as I tell you that that these players don't have that metal and whatnot. These players do have it to win on their day against any team. We have seen that against, I don't know, Barcelona that week against Barcelona, Newcastle. We've seen them beat a prime City.
Yeah.
We have seen them turn the table.
It's about consistency. On their day, this team can step up. It's about consistency, and hopefully Amorim with this new setup is able to new ideas, able to bring in that consistency as well.
Are you ready to revise your predictions for United, where we're gonna end up, or is it like wait and watch what Amorim does at the end of Christmas time?
Yeah, maybe let's revisit it then. It's what, 1 game in the league, 2 games overall. I don't think we have enough information to really talk about, but yeah, hopefully we go deep in the Europa League. If we can win it, nothing like it guarantees us Champions League position as well. Because doing it via the league, I think it's going to be tougher than doing it through Europa. Talking about
Things are a bit rosy. Yeah, things are a bit rosy when it comes to Europa League, aren't they? I mean, we are just 2 points away from.
Technically 1 point away. There are 3 teams in fact, there are 5 teams who are sitting on 10 points from 6th to 10th position. And then there are 3 more teams on 9th position between 11th and 13th, and we are one of them. So I feel direct qualification to the top 16 is very well possible. We have the games we have up next. I think we go to Victoria Pleasant next, which is an away game. So I don't know how what if there is a pitch difference sort of a situation if they use the artificial pitch or not. That apart, if it is not that case, I think I would go for us as favorites in this one. And then we have Rangers and FCSB. All three teams are pretty much near the point tally that we have, but a lot of teams might play each other in the who are the 11 in front of us, so it gives us enough opportunity to climb. Yeah, I see a possibility of us finishing top 8.
No, I think that is very much possible. And I would like to thank Eric Ten Hag for those 3 unbeaten them. Those were 3 slippery games, man. We don't realize. Maybe not the 20,
Porto.
but the
Porto and which one was that?
Fenerbahce.
Fenerbahce, correct. I think tough away games, yeah. Tough away games. It's just that we started Porto really well, so it felt like, okay, 1 point may feel like a loss, but I think Eric Ten Hag, it would have been good if he had it 5 points out of that 3. So that 20 game was the real downer.
Yeah.
But I think largely all fine.
It's unbeaten in Europa, not a bad place to be honest.
Correct.
So, what next for United? I believe we have 2 upcoming Premier League games at home against Everton and then a trip to Arsenal.
Yes, I think this is the December period is well and truly starting now. We have like 3 Premier League games in a space of a week. And then we resume Europa duties in the midweek following that. And I think this goes on till mid of January, where FA Cup also starts and all of that. I don't think this year they also have the winter break, where they usually break one of the game weeks into 2 weeks. So this year that is not also there. So I think the matches are going to come thick and fast. It will be critical for us to carry on the momentum. Everton aren't in a great shape. They haven't been scoring much. Although they are defensively, they have been resolute from what we can see based on some of the past fixtures. But this is a game at Old Trafford, Amorim's first Premier League game at Old Trafford. I expect us to grab that win there.
Okay, let's quickly do a predicted 11 for Everton. Like, what would we want to see? I don't want to go predictions. Would be the ideal people to start? Onana starts, and who are your preferred back 3?
I think
Lichak's a shoe-in, no doubt.
Licha Delict definitely start. Delict at the base of the 3, Licha at the left, and I think Mazarao is doing really well there. In the right centre back position, Harry Maguire, even if fit, will just be returning to fitness. Lindelof also was missing from the team yesterday. I don't think he's Euro. I don't know. I think it feels like Amorim is protecting him. He's also a youngster. He will take time to get used to the Premier League pace. So I think even if he gets some minutes, it will be as a substitute, maybe whenever. And Mazarov is doing that role well, because he can move into the right back spot also when you go 4 at the back at times. So I think those will be the 3. Then right wing back, I think Ahmad starts, because he started the previous one, came in for last 30 odd minutes last night.
One more option is Dalo starting there, and on a left wing, Luke Shaw starting. That will,
in fact, I wanted
defense resolution to it.
I wanted to talk about how much Amorim is looking at Luke Shaw as a wing back, because every time he has brought him in, he has brought him as a left centre back. Maybe it's because you don't have cover for Martinez, and Martinez is not at the peak fitness right now. Last game he was unfit. This game also he got 60 minutes and taken off because he's building his fitness. So I don't know what's the deal with Shaw there. I would love to see Shaw at left wing back as well. Yeah.
I think it is because he's just returning from injury. He's easing him back onto the pitch.
Yeah, he doesn't want him to do the wing up down continuously. So which is...
That being said, Luke Shaw is the best in the business when it comes to that. We have seen that for England. We've seen that for United as well. His telepath.
But I don't think in a space of 3 to 5 days, it changes his fitness. So maybe I don't think he starts there.
Probably. Although it is a position where I'd like to see him play a left wing.
Same
because I think I haven't seen Rashford, to bring the best out of Rashford. I've seen 2 players do that. One was Martial, and like his combination play with Martial was brilliant. And when Luke Shaw used to make those overlapping runs, that was a brilliant time when we saw play. So I think to get the best out of Rashford, playing Luke Shaw on the left wing back is important.
Possibly. So let's see. It will either be Dallo and Shaw there most likely, or Malaysia might get few minutes as well. Midfield, Ugarte I think should definitely be that destroyer number 6 sort of a role. Menu, if he is fit enough, maybe starts in that 8 role. Otherwise, Bruno continues there and Mount starts number 10. Otherwise, Bruno starts number 10. And I would want to see Garnacho and Hoyland as the other number 10 and striker respectively.
I want to see, like, it's quite enough time. I don't think we are using Bruno's full capability with him at 6 or 8. I really think Bruno should continue at 10, and Manu is a good enough player to connect the dots between defense and the
But then,
forward line.
who do you play in the other number 10? Garnacho or Mount?
Yeah, one of them. I think both of them are capable of doing the job there. Mount, he presses very well. With his pressing only, he'll create a lot of chances, and Garnacho gives us the uncertainty of where he goes, right, left. He has it in him to score as well as create more chances.
Yeah. No, great. I think we are very well placed. We are looking forward to these games which will come very quickly in the next few days now. So, anything else you want to add in terms of what is it that you're looking forward to?
No, and I hope the bidding period for Amorim is well and truly done. I think he has seen the intensity of Premier League. I think he has seen where we are when it comes to Europe. He has asked a lot of reporters for time so that he can train with the players. I hope he gets that. I mean, there are 4 games in a space of a fortnight. He will have to bring some results to buy that time.
Yeah.
I think we have enough games in this fortnight to win. I really don't want to call the Arsenal one right now, but yeah, let's take one game at a time. I believe we have what it takes to beat Everton this season, and would like to see a comprehensive win at Old Trafford in his first game of Premier League at home.
Absolutely. Look forward to the upcoming games. This is it from us for this one. Thanks everybody for listening in. It was a good conversation. I hope all of you liked it as well. In case you did, please subscribe to our channel, give us a like, share this with your friends. And yes, as always, this is our perch. Let's knock him off. Until next time, stay united.